Hello and welcome to a quick unboxing from Weird House Press. This, I'm not going to lie, is one of two books or possibly two books. I'm not really sure because I did not get a notification on it. But Weird House Press, I recently purchased, I say recently, it was the end of last year, I had purchased a grab bag from them. And within that grab bag was a short story collection. Oh, it is both books. A short story collection called Devil's Night by Cyrus M Lawson. And I'm not going to lie, it was one of the best short story collections I have read in recent memory. It was fantastic. A whole bunch of different tales, all interconnected, all connected via Devil's Night in 1989 in Detroit. Just absolute chaos. And I loved it so much that when I got the newsletter from Weird House that said, hey, we're publishing a collection that's edited by Cyrus M. Lawson, and we're publishing a novel by Cyrus M. Lawson, I immediately went out and bought both. So here are both. We have 13 Haunted Houses, and we have the Black Heart Boys Choir. Black Heart Boys Choir being a novel by Cyrus M. Lawson, 13 Haunted Houses being edited by Lawson. Fantastic. So let's start with the Black Heart Boys Choir, which is Cyrus M. Lawson, forward by S.T. Joshi. It should be, I believe it's bonded leather. Yes, just like the edition that I unboxed for Devil's Night, black bonded leather. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but fancy enough. We have end papers here, nice illustrated end papers, signed by Cyrus M. Lawson. I got number 23. I got the Jeff Terry number from Suntup. How about that? Completely by random. So Black Heart Boys Choir is the story about Lucian, a mischievous boy who discovers his deceased father's unfinished musical piece, symphony, if you will. And he decides with him and his friends that they are going to complete this symphony, but discover that in order to complete it, they have to do sacrifices to a demon, which might be a horse from the illustrations here by Luke Spooner. Luke Spooner is actually the same guy that illustrated Devil's Night. And wow, his illustrations for that were gorgeous. Not every story had an illustration, but all of the ones that did were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, all the stories within it were phenomenal. No two were alike. Well, two kind of were alike in that they both shared the same demonic, mischievous, Nine Rouge inspiration, but the stories themselves, even with those two, were completely and vastly different. That one, I believe, had color illustrations. This one has just black and white illustrations, but that is quite all right. I got to post a review for Devil's Night, but holy crap, Devil's Night was phenomenal. Like, you should go buy that. There are still signed copies available, and this is from 2019, I believe it came out in. I had never heard of it, but thanks to that grab bag, I was sold. And finally, we have 13 Haunted Houses, which is an anthology edited by Cyrus M. Lawson and Joe Morey, who is actually the creator of Dark Regions Press. He left it to his son, Chris Morey, several years back, and he went out and founded Weird House Press. Now, these have end papers similar to the ones that we had in Devil's Night. I know only the first few were signed by this, so I did not get a signed one, but that's fine. But this does feature a lot of great tales. I mean, we got Simon Clark, we have Ramsey Campbell. Do we have a Cyrus M. Lawson tale? No, we just have the introduction by him. But we do have a Philip Fracassi story, so all you Fracassi freaks out there, you got to get on board with this. Like, great stories throughout here. I don't know if we have any. We have cover art by Cyrus Walker, but we don't really have any interior art. It wouldn't appear. So let me just flip through it real quick. Yeah, no interior art, but, you know, 13 wonderful stories, whereas Devil's Night was completely surrounded by the settings of Devil's Night, October 30th in Detroit. This, I think, just has the setting of haunted houses. But you know what? I'm all aboard there. We have our little bios for everybody in the back. Seriously, though, like, I was so blown away by Devil's Night that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy these. So, as the first few for 13 Haunted Houses were signed by the editors. This obviously is not signed by the editors, so it seems like those copies are no longer available. But copies of both titles are still available. And Weird House Press, from what I've read, I mean, I've only read one short story collection and one poetry collection. They're pretty damn awesome. And they're, and Joe Morey seems to have no signs of slowing down. I know people have been criticizing Dark Regions Press lately for having really published anything in the past few years, but Joe Morey is no longer with Dark Regions. He's now with Weird House Press, and he is chugging along, it would seem. I also just recently unboxed some Sherlock Holmes with The Case of Death and Honey and The Creeping Man. Weird House Press actually has like Sherlock Holmes meets Cthulhu style stories. So if you're into that sort of thing, you should check them out as well. Anyways, thank you very much to Weird House Press for these wonderful books. Can't wait to dive in, particularly with Blackheart Boys Choir. It's one of those ones where, like Philip Percassi, I read his first novel, which was Boys in the Valley, and I was so hooked that I'm going to buy every short story and novel that he comes out with afterwards because it had me hooked. The same thing happened with Devil's Night for Cyrus M Lawson. That short stories collection hooked me so much that I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely buying this. So anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider subscribe to the channel, and we will see you around next time.